I wanted to kick things off by off-plan prices being higher than ready prices in some case. What do you guys think of it?
So one of the main reasons is the land's increase of the prices as well.
And one of the reasons why the land prices is increasing, there is actually lack of land. Off-plan properties or under construction properties, they are supposed to be cheaper than the ready ones.
But why? It used to be, and this is an ideology that maybe some people are fixed on, but obviously there's now a shift. But why should they be cheaper?
Because you pay money up front, basically. You are betting on the future.
The price per square foot of Dubai is so much smaller, well, more cost effective, you can say, than these places that the millionaires are coming from. If we look at Dubai compared to London, to Manhattan, things like this, oftentimes we're between 4 and 8 times more cost effective price per square foot. So, is it still a good time to buy off plan? And if yes or if no, what do we have to look out for? Hello guys, this is another edition of the Prop AI podcast. Today we're going to be talking about plots versus off-plan, how they intertwine with each other. And I'm Kaiser, and I'm joined today by my colleagues Aurelius and Melanie.
Hello, Kaiser.
Hello
guys.
Kaiser.
I wanted to kick things off by off-plan prices being higher than ready prices in some case. What do you guys think of it?
It's weird.
It's a bit weird.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not a standard market move.
Why do you think this is happening?
Basically, probably because the market allows this to happen. There are a lot of different reasons for that. First, I believe that the level of developments that are launching now are much higher than what was launching before. This is one thing. Another thing, even if we look at the market as one singular thing, there are a lot of premium developments that are being launched that increases the whole market rate. And also, if you look at, I don't know, man.
One of my theories is the fact that if we're looking at the split of purchases, transactions year on year, we see that off-plan is much greater than ready. So this is a first indicator that typically it's around a 60-40 split between off-plan and ready in terms of transaction volume.
Yes.
And so if more off-plan properties are being purchased than ready, it makes sense that the off-plan is what is driving appreciation. So it makes a bit of sense in the sense that these prices are going to be the driving factor and thus sometimes in some communities be higher.
Actually, off-plan prices are increasing as well, because as a land broker as well, I'm seeing a significantly increase of the land plots. And what, let's say, clients or in general people tend to forget is that the plot is the first step of an off-plan project.
Yes.
So normally it's between 25 to up to 40% of the full project. So lately I have seen a huge increase because lands, we say, it becomes less and less, and there is a rarefication of the lands. And based on the price of the land, it will be impacted in the final off-plan project. So normally in terms of developer, there is the purchase of the land, then there is that takes this kind of percentage, 25 up to 40. And then there is the construction costs. And there is all the invisible costs that includes marketing, consultant, lawyers. I can do a full list that will include 30% approximately in the total cost. So, of course, the prices of off-plan, one of the reasons they will be impacted because they need to add their margin. So that's why in the previously the off-plan were cheaper, and because the investors who invested previously, they saw the vision. Now there is still a vision, but the off-plan projects of today are impacting the ones who got the vision. That's why they are rewarded on that.
Exactly, yeah.
So one of the main reasons is the land's increase of the prices as well.
And one of the reasons why the land prices is increasing is there is actually lack of land.
Of course.
There is.
All the most popular communities, they're going towards the end phase of development.
Mm-hmm.
Either if we look at JVC, if we look at other communities where the small developers are coming, there's almost nothing to buy anymore. Everything is purchased,
Mm-hmm.
everything is under construction, everything is planned to being launched, and the landowners are using this opportunity to cash out. The investors, there's this big surge of new investors in the market, new developers in the market, coming from Europe, coming from India, coming from other countries, and they are okay with the margins that the market is offering at the moment. Some experienced developers, they already see that, look, the margin that we had before, it's not enough for us. There are developers that want 100%, that want 200, even I heard 300% profit margin, which is unheard of in Europe. And when new developers are coming with expectation of 30, 40%, it's really enough for them. And this is how it all starts. It starts from the land, then expectations of the market, lower expectations of the developers, and everything goes in this cycle.
And what would you guys say is maybe a cause for the increase in construction costs? We understand why land plots will be increasing. Obviously, it's finite. You can't just generate land, especially in prime areas. And to add on what you were saying, actually, about JVC, I think Marina is a perfect example because we haven't seen a prime plot in Marina for a long time.
There's nothing.
And why? Because it was one of the first communities to be in, right? I think even last year I was seeing a few examples of buildings being resold to then be renovated as new off-plan projects, of course, ready, however. So I think this might be something that we'll see in these older communities, which will be interesting.
This is another sign of market maturity.
Exactly. Yeah.
When prime areas are being redeveloped. And this is a very good sign for the city itself.
And so, yes, about construction costs. We know it's increasing, but why do we think it is?
Materials.
Yeah, first of all, is international cost of materials. All the basics, starting from steel and concrete, and going to all the, let's say, finishing materials. But also another thing which is important, as I mentioned, the expectation of the buyer and the competition in the market of the projects. Every single project, they want to be outstanding. They want to be better to be purchased. And then if developer wants to build a long-term relationship with the market and it's standing in the market, they need to deliver. So they need to use better materials than before. Also, additions like, let's say, smart home systems, or I don't know, even the common areas, the amenities, they're getting better and better every day. Sometimes it's just a marketing thing. We have 100 different amenities, and then you list elevator as
an amenity.
But honestly speaking, it actually is becoming better. The buildings, the standards, and the concepts are becoming better, which cost more money. And to keep the margin, everything is going up. And since the market is good, there is influx of international buyers and investors. They are willing to pay those prices because of the, let's say, payment plans, delayed handovers. Everything is going to that side.
So what do you guys think the impact is now of having off-plan being the driving force in the price of certain areas? Obviously, we've outlined that off-plan is higher quality and they have to be higher quality. And this is a factor of why the price is going up alongside construction costs, alongside plot prices, things like this. But what is the real impact then on the market? Does it give us security or perhaps instability? Because obviously we're betting on things that don't exist yet, maybe for the next 1 to 3 years, being the driving force of where the market is going to go. So what do you guys think is the impact?
Yeah, it's very unusual market move because usually off-plan properties or under construction properties, they are supposed to be cheaper than the ready ones.
But why? It used to be,
Yeah.
and this is an ideology that maybe some people are fixed on, but obviously there's now a shift. But why should they be cheaper?
Because you pay money up front, basically. You are betting on the future, that it will happen and it will be good. And usually in the markets, there are a lot of buyers that are looking for ready properties. So the main buyer in regular market is looking for a ready property that can be rented out or people can move in. We are expecting a lot of people coming to Dubai until 2040. The city should grow by additional 2 million people. And this is why international investors are betting on the future of Dubai, willing to pay those higher prices and actually expecting the properties to be delivered later than sooner. So they find their own tenant or buyer that is not in the market yet. Maybe their buyer or tenant is not in Dubai yet.
I wanted to ask on villas versus apartments. Obviously, there's a big split between supplying the two. I believe it's around 80-20 in terms of 80 being the apartments for off-plan, as well as villas and townhouses being 20%. Why do we think that is? And again, what impact does that have on off-plan prices generally?
Because for me, as I mentioned, Dubai was not supposed to be a family city. And now the main vision is to attract families. So we start focusing more on villas, but we will be under supply of villas, obviously, because I notice by my own experience that sometimes the supply of villas is really low for the needs of my buyers. Personally, if I could, I will invest more easily in a villa or a townhouse because I think it's a more sure value. Let's say if because now there is a lot of studios, 1 bedrooms, but I think the best investment in terms of off-plan right now, it's a townhouse or a villa. Even the price is high, but because there is undersupply, as we are betting on the future, it's for me a very safe investment. But the budget is higher, so I can easily understand that people, they don't want to invest that much as a first investor, but at the same time it's the safest.
Yeah, there is a big market shift happening. From 2019, when the golden visas were introduced, we see that people more and more feel that Dubai is their home, their primary residency. They're moving from other countries due to different reasons: safety, taxes, life quality, business opportunities, everything. A lot of different reasons.
Schools now.
Even schools, you're right. And families are moving. Initially, the city was not built around villas.
Definitely not.
And families.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
And families, yes. Let's say until 2008, the city strategy was to attract as many rich people to put money into the market, and then they expect them to leave. Come to Dubai for a week, for a month, for 2 months, but they were never expecting people to live in the city. Now we see that people more and more are willing to move here, to live here permanently. And what is important, that rich people are moving here. Last year, 2025, 9,800 millionaires moved to Dubai, which is a big number. And all of them, they have high standards for their higher living standards. So they need villas, they need penthouses, they need bigger apartments, better views, better amenities, and all the cycle is becoming, let's say, vicious cycle towards higher prices. But at the same time, I want to discuss other thing. Even though the families are coming here, we will still have a lot of single people. Internationally, there are more and more people that live alone. And this is basically a crisis in Europe, in other countries.
Asia.
In Asia especially. And I believe even though we see a big supply of studios and one bedrooms, they will still be needed for people that are coming here, because there will be a lot of first time movers to Dubai that come here alone and that will maybe create a family here, or maybe they will keep living alone and they don't need 3-bedroom villa, 5-bedroom villa.
So yeah, there I agree with you 100%, but I will jump back what I said. For example, for me, a villa, let's say, as there is, it's purely mathematics, as there is a 80-20, even the villa is not, let's say, the best developer and the best whatever branded everything, we are very secure. Regarding the studios and the 1-bedrooms, for like as an agent, if I advise a client, we need to be more selective.
Extremely selective.
For the project. That in the villas, it's less risky because it's a terms of numbers. In the other ones, 1-bedroom studios, we need to be, as Aurelius is saying, extremely selective. Because I'm not talking about oversupply, because the regulations of DLD right now, if they allowed, because there is as well this new rule that they implemented for each lounge, they did already the calculations of approximately how many people will be living, and everything is backed up by government. But it's about the project itself. In order for the investor to still have good capital appreciation, or even on the rentals.
Yes, and it's very important to find area where studio or 1-bedroom would make sense. So it needs to be the right place, right project. It has to have value in itself, and it has to be in the right place in the city.
I wanted to circle back on what you said, Aurelius, in the sense that many millionaires have now moved to Dubai in the last year. And we as humans, naturally, we always want to upgrade things in terms of upgrading our lifestyle, upgrading our potential in terms of investments, things like this. And I think Dubai is the perfect place for that, even in mind of the topic being off-plan prices more expensive than ready, is in the sense that the price per square foot of Dubai is so much smaller, well, more cost effective, you can say, than these places that the millionaires are coming from. If we look at Dubai compared to London, to Manhattan, things like this, oftentimes were between 4 and 8 times more cost effective price per square foot. And so a millionaire in London that may be living in a 3-bedroom semi-detached house now has access with their same budget to live in a mansion or a penthouse. And I think this is a massive driving force in also prices increasing, because we are seeing a lot of foreign investment.
And they're reviewing their lifestyle when they move to Dubai.
Of course, safety
They
being a
need to
massive factor.
Adjust, because why they are living in a 3-bedroom townhouse in a very central location? Due to its prestige, due to its safety, supposedly, and other factors, so infrastructure, schools, etc. Here, they can move into a completely different location. Maybe it might not be the downtown. It might be District 1. It might be even District 11. It might be even further. But the unit, the villa, or even the mansion will be much higher quality and much bigger space, and providing very different or very similar lifestyle to what they had before in terms of safety, quality, infrastructure, schools, which is actually very, very important piece of life, finding a good school, and we have abundance of them here.
For sure.
Actually, Dubai already, and UAE in general already, they provide us. When we speak about luxury, I'm not talking about materials specific project, but people tend to forget that luxury is a lifestyle. And UAE, Dubai in general, they already provide luxury by themselves when every building has a gym, every building has a pool, and most above all part of the city is safe. People worldwide, they pay for crazy prices for safety areas.
Yes.
Dubai offers safety everywhere. Luxury is not about only branded residences and super fancy places, restaurants. No. Luxury is a purely lifestyle. It's removing this idea that, oh, I need to be careful because something might happen. It's already very peaceful. And this people, they tend to forget such details because actually it became so obvious. And let's say buyers sometimes, they speak in a way that for them it's so obvious and it's like, oh, it's normal. No, it's not normal, because as soon you travel out of UAE,
Completely.
this is not provided. And this has a cost as well. But people don't say it. And as you mentioned, Dubai prices for what they offer compared to the world, they are still affordable. I'm not saying that we should go. No, I'm saying that we can see it, prices going up, or we can see it, yes, but compared to what is in the world with inflation, with everything, it's still correct. As Aurelius mentioned, they can still afford a huge villa here with all the luxury amenities that, let's say, worldwide will cost much higher.
And it's very interesting what you said in the sense of in other places, you're going to pay for the safety alongside the location. In Dubai, you're going to be as safe in a JVC studio than you are in a 7-bed custom-built mansion on the Palm. You're just as safe. It doesn't matter. So our baseline for quality of life is so different and so much higher than the rest of the world.
And the perspective, what we are looking for or what the residents are looking for in the property is very different from, let's say, Europe. Because in my country, everyone is looking how good the walls are done and how close we are to the bus station. And can I live here and access the school? Because since the schools are government, so you have to live in some area to access the school. And here it's not the case. You can live anywhere and go to any school as long as you are accepted and as long as you are willing to pay the price. I think the perspective is very different because previously the quality of the unit inside was not that necessary as now. Because previously people were living in Dubai with the plan to leave in a year, in 2 years, in 3 years. They usually were coming with a contract, renting. Okay, I can live in 2 years here, even though the apartment inside is not the best, but it's convenient for me. I'm close to my work. I'm close to my social life. Everything is fine. Now, when people are moving here to live, let's say, forever, they are starting to notice all those details. They're starting to think how they will feel, is the apartment convenient to use? Is it comfortable? Is it well planned? And what are the amenities? And only then, what is the location? Because in Dubai, everything is 30 minutes away.
Again,
if you pay extra, you are 15 minutes away. If you pay a little bit less, you are 30 minutes away. But in terms of distance in kilometers, it might be 30 kilometers and it might be 15 or even 5 kilometers. It will still take the same time to reach the destination.
I will jump off what you're saying. Everything is 30 minutes away, but in every area of Dubai, you will find the basics.
Yes,
At least
definitely.
nursery, school, pharmacies, supermarkets. So me, for example, as a Swiss person, I will take it as a very traditional way. In my country, good luck to find 30 minutes away, everything included in a community, and the prices will still be very high. So when I say that buyers, I'm talking now in a worldwide perspective, Dubai offers luxury by the amenities and that they offer by themselves. Like even you're in GVC, you will find everything in GVC. You don't need to go out. You're in downtown, of course. You are, let's say, Mudon Al Ranim. You will find everything there for families. So this is as well an aspect that people tend to forget, that it's when we think luxury, it's luxury, but it's a luxury lifestyle that makes your life easy, convenient, and you can gain time.
And at the same time, word luxury is so overused in Dubai.
It's completely overused.
Definitely overused.
You cannot even understand, many people don't even understand what that actually means. Because everything is luxury, from a studio 30 kilometers away from the central areas to a, let's say, 2-bedroom in some decent building to a Marsa Al Arab or a mansion. Everything is luxury. And then we have all these inventions: ultra luxury, affordable luxury, luxury. Everything is just luxury. But
it's a marketing world.
Yeah,
Definitely.
It became a marketing word that is overused. But when you look at the core of the project, you can actually decide if this is worth paying or not. And this is why the prices are increasing, because the projects that are under construction now, they are appealing much better to people that are coming to the market at the moment. And also another thing, I have buyers that are looking for themselves for a ready unit, and they cannot find what they want or what they can afford. So they turn to off-plan market. And I see this is happening more and more often, that not only investors are buying off-plan properties directly from developer, from resale market, but also people who are willing to move in the property.
Again, I'm facing this exact example where I have a client that is looking for a move-in property, and we're looking exclusively at this point at resale as well as direct from developer options.
Yes.
Purely because, and it's a villa, which goes on to the point of supply being so small, of how even end users are now looking at off-plan.
Yes.
And I wanted to pivot back to the main topic being, we're seeing prices more expensive off-plan than ready. So is it still a good time to buy off-plan? And if yes or if no, what do we have to look out for?
It is a good time to buy off-plan if you select a good project.
Exactly.
And how do we know what a good project looks like?
I work a lot with off-plan market, and I think 80, maybe even 90% off-plan properties, they don't make sense from investment perspective. Sometimes they make sense from end user perspective, but those 10 to 20%, they're really gold mines. They're still very, very good purchases. And answering to your question, what you're looking for when you're buying an investment property off plan, you're looking for core value. So is it exclusive? Is it limited in supply? Is it easy to change with another property? For example, if we have a building with 1,000 identical units, it's not the best purchase in anyhow. Is it, even if it's ready property or it's off-plan property, it's not the best purchase, because you have a risk. Your property will not be as liquid and as desirable as when you have a very limited supply of, let's say, one bedrooms in 300. Let's say the building has 300 units and it has 85 one bedrooms. And then the one bedrooms become quite rare. And the value of the project is much higher at the same time. The buyers, they will be higher budget buyers, there will be higher status buyers, and it goes further.
Even in terms of rental yield,
Yeah.
once again, we go to the same circle at the end, that of demand and supply. If the supply in the tower that we have 1,000 studios, 2,000 one bedrooms, the supply will be much higher. So of course we will have more choice, let's say, or someone always ready to negotiate more. So in terms of investment, I will not advise a client, but building, as you mentioned, with low supply, something a bit unique, good average of amenities, location, connectivity, of course, but now they are becoming, they are a bit more rare, because we are seeing a wave as well that everyone, developers want to launch their own project, and they are playing with the marketing tools. But when we see the layouts or we see the division of the units, actually I will not mention, because we're not here to speak about who is doing what, but it's not a long-term project.
Yes.
And
Talking
branded
about-
residences, sorry to interrupt you, now there is a new thing about branded residences. This, for me, it's very controversial. Let's say if it's a hotel, hospitality, something related with real estate, it's good. Brings a value, because brings a service, brings something. But one of the things as land broker as well, I can notice is that now developers, they tend to add these branded residences that add costs in the final product, that it's between 15%, they give it like royalties or sales per unit, etc. But it doesn't add a value, because at the end we buy a location, we buy asset, real estate asset. So a brand that has nothing to do with real estate, at the end, in my opinion, doesn't bring that much value.
I want to add 2 points. I remember we did a few studies because we have a lot of data. So one thing, I was asking myself this question: what type of building has the best appreciation in the long term? And we did a study when we took all the buildings in downtown Business Bay, Marina, JBR, and JOT. We took the number of units and then we categorized them. Small, very up to 100 units, from 100 to 200 units, from 200 to 300, 400 to 500, and between 500 to 1,000 units per building, and everything that is above 1,000 units.
I remember when we did this.
Yeah, so the result was that the best performing buildings are between 200 and 300 units, with few exceptions to a lower side and a higher side. Anything that is lower and higher in terms of units, in terms of number of units, is performing worse on average in the market. And the reason why is that is because with 200 to 300 units, you have very good building that has good amount of amenities and good quality of amenities. At the same time, you have people living there and using the amenities. You don't feel alone, but it's not overcrowded. So this is the perfect mix when a developer can invest additionally into amenities, and when users or people living in the building, they actually feel the value of those amenities that are there. Another thing about the branded residences also very, very common and controversial topic. We did this research. We came to conclusion that it's not the brand that makes the building to perform better. It's location and quality of the building. It goes back to the roots of real estate. And we found that the best performing buildings in terms of appreciation were the ones that were considered the best buildings in the community. Some of them were branded, like address, but most of them, they were not branded. And I think this is very important when you're looking for a residence. You can fall for the brand trick, but you have to look what's standing behind. Is the building good? Is the number of units good? For example, if you put a brand, a very luxury brand, a project with thousands of studios, I don't think it reflects the value. So basically, you are just overpaying the premium. The first buyer from the developer is overpaying the premium, and the market will not be willing to keep paying that premium if the project is not good enough. If the project is good, then yes, it works along. It just strengthens the building position in the market. But we have to look at the basics, starting from location, views, building, amenities, reputation of the developer, and ending with the unit itself. There are some very shiny and good-looking branded residences that are not appreciating because inside the layouts are not good for long-term residents.
And my own philosophy, simply put on this, is when you look at any kind of investment in the world, let's take something that's been around for the longest, like precious metals, gold and silver, which we've seen a big rise and fall of recently. Every single vital and important investment in the world comes with its rate or its use of liquidity. So at the end of the day, with property, it's the exact same thing. How liquid is this asset? And what the real question you should be asking is, what are the signifiers for said liquidity? And it goes into exactly what you said. Does this brand add value? Does the location add value? So it's really just talking about liquidity. And the study that we did about unit density, again, just highlights that if you have too many units that you're competing with to either rent or to sell, you're ruining your liquidity. It's probably not a good investment.
Yeah, the basics, they don't change.
Exactly, they really don't. So let's round up. Let's go over the main points of why we really think that off-plan prices may be increasing over ready. We touched on the fact that land plots are increasing in price, and we concluded that it's because of the scarcity, material costs as well as the margins now being different because we have new developers coming in which are willing to accept these lower margins, whereas the more seasoned developers are still trying to hold on to the margins they may have had for many years now. And also just the lack of so people have to offset their costs and still try and make their money some other way.
Yes.
So I think today's been a very productive talk, guys.
Thank you,
So
Kaiser.
it's time for me to sign off and hope to see you again.